Hey guys, welcome back to this week's video for SmartStart University. Over the past 3 weeks, we've looked at time management, but with Thanksgiving coming up, I want to pivot and take a peek at gratitude. Now, gratitude isn't one of those things that's widely celebrated by our culture, but it's very, very important, especially for those of us who are trying to transition from ambitious student into sensational leader. If you follow my email list, which if you don't, I totally recommend it, I'll link down below. But if you follow my email list, you'll have noticed that over the past 2 weeks, I've mentioned mental filters. Our mental filters are basically, because our brain deals with so much information every single day, there's the sounds, there's lights, there's colors, all these different things that we have to deal with, these stimuli every single second of every single day, our brains have this filter that's designed to process. Because if you think about the amount of information you run into in a day, you'd very quickly be overwhelmed. So our brains use these filters to really make sense of the world and to really grasp how we view things, right? But what happens is our filters automatically are filtering in what we agree with and filter out what we disagree with. They filter in what we believe or what we're looking for, and they filter out what we don't believe, what we're not looking for. So I know right now politics are incredibly divisive in our culture, and part of that's because social media and because we live in echo chambers, but part of that is also because of our own natural mental filters. When you hear something that aligns with what you believe, you go, oh yeah, that's true, that's right. But when you hear something that doesn't align with what you believe, you either don't see it or you go, oh no, that can't be true, because your filter pops up. The other thing that happens as well is evidence that may be supportive of a belief that's contrary to yours, your brain just won't notice. You won't notice it. Whereas someone else might see the exact same thing and would notice that. I mention all of that not to get into politics, but to look at gratitude through the same light. Right? If we have these mental filters, then we're going to observe what we think is out there in the world. So if you're intentionally practicing gratitude, if you're intentionally noting what you're grateful for, your brain starts filtering in all the things that it should be grateful for, all the things you should be grateful for. And what happens is because you're filtering those in, you begin to notice more and more little things. So whereas when you start, it may just be like, oh yeah, my family, I have a roof over my head, right? Those might be things to be grateful for. Once you start practicing gratitude every day, what you find is all these little things make a big difference. Yesterday I had a conversation with my friends for an hour and 45 minutes. I was able to stop doing what I had to do and just had time to go ahead and have that conversation. Long conversation, not terribly productive, but I was very grateful for the opportunity to just have the freedom and flexibility to be able to do that, right? So what happens is, again, this will happen everywhere. And I hope it happens when someone opens the door for you, right? It's a little thing. Most of the time I don't give a second thought to it. But when you're practicing gratitude, you might notice. And you might go, wow, that person's really thoughtful. I appreciate that. Right? You might just be sharing a smile with someone. So what happens with gratitude is it's so easy to not notice because we're racing from thing A to thing B to thing C through the whole alphabet and back again. But when you're intentionally looking for stuff to be grateful for, you start to filter in things that you should be grateful for, things that can make you grateful for what you have. And what that does is then that shifts your perspective of your world, your own self-image. Instead of looking at yourself and saying, man, everything sucks, I don't get what I want, there's these things that don't work for me, you end up focusing on opportunity, end up focusing on things that have been beneficial for you. And so you then start appreciating those more and you start looking for more. And so your brain literally starts to filter in more things to be grateful for, which filters in more things that you want to do. And at the same time, it's much easier to be around someone who's fun and warm and nice and friendly and grateful than as someone who's just going to be rude every time you do something nice for them. So gratitude is one of those simple things that you can start practicing that really shifts everything. It shifts the opportunities you have, it shifts your relationships, it even shifts your own self-image. So for this week's challenge, as we approach Thanksgiving next week, I want to challenge you guys to do something with gratitude. Take a little notebook like this is mine, and just start jotting down maybe one, maybe two things a day that you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be long, it can be like 3-4 words, but try to make it something specific to that day. So if your sibling, for example, if my sister got me a glass of milk when I asked her, that might be something I'm grateful for, so I might just jot that down. Simple little thing, took her 10 seconds, but it might mean something to me. So try to be specific with those. Don't go broad and say, oh, I'm grateful for my family. That's valuable, but try to be specific. And what will happen is you'll start noting day after day that there are all these little things that happen in life that are worth being grateful for. So try that out. Go ahead, 1 to 2 things a day. It's not hard. It takes like 30 seconds in the evening. If you haven't done it by the time you go to bed, just know, okay, let me go write down something I'm grateful for. And what you'll find, I think, quickly is within a week or two, you'll start noticing there are more things to be grateful for. There are more things to be grateful for. When you sit down and start writing the first time, it's like, oh, I don't really know what happened. Within a week, I bet you'll be like, oh man, then there was this, and then there was this, and then there was this. So practice gratitude. It really makes a difference for your relationships, for your self-image, for even future opportunities. And it just really makes you feel better. So that's the challenge for this week. Go ahead and write down something that you're grateful for every day this week as we approach Thanksgiving, and let me know how it goes. Please comment down below and let me know your thoughts. All right, guys, I'll see you 2 weeks from now. I'm not recording next week for Thanksgiving. Bye, guys.